Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here. Welcome back to the Arkham City New Game Plus walkthrough. This is part 8. Remember, this whole walkthrough is going to eventually consist of 10 videos, so we're just about there. You should recognize this area of the map. We've been here before. What we're doing is we are revisiting the steel mill. And so you'll see that things have slightly changed this time. There's going to be some snipers positioned all around here, and so you're going to want to use your detective vision to find them, or just keep an eye out for these red laser sights that are kind of piercing throughout the map, and you're just going to want to make sure you take all of those guys out before getting closer to the steel mill. It's going to net you some experience, but the main thing is those snipers will do a lot of damage. So even this far in the game, when you have your, you have your health upgraded to the max and everything, the snipers can still be a very big threat, mainly because if you're flying through the sky and the sniper happens to see you, you're defenseless. You're just basically stuck gliding in the air. It's open season, instead of duck hunting, it's Batman hunting. So just be careful is the main lesson to be learned here. In other news, I have some good news, I guess. For me, I don't know if this is going to be good for everyone. Maybe some of you won't even care, but I think I've mentioned it in some past videos. Maybe not in this walkthrough, but in one walkthrough. I'm a big baseball fan. That's the sport I grew up playing, and I live in Arizona. So the team I root for is the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, basically since 2011, there hasn't been a lot to cheer for. They have been a terrible team. I don't know what happened, but 2017 has been their year. They kicked off to a very good start. They've basically been in second place in their division for almost the whole year. It's been back and forth with the Rockies. They ended up pulling ahead, and based on today's game, what ended up happening was halfway through the game, we got news that the Rockies, or not the Rockies, the Pirates, or no, I'm sorry, the Cardinals and the Brewers, both of those teams lost. And so based on how the division works out, halfway through the game, we found out that the Diamondbacks clinched a playoff spot. So what that means for you non-baseball fans out there is we're in the clear. We have officially secured a spot in the playoffs. So even if we lose every other game up until October, we're still going to be in the playoffs. And to make things even better, like I said, that was announced halfway through the game. So to make things even better, if the Diamondbacks won the game, then they not only secured a playoff spot, but they secured home field advantage for the first game. And I'm happy to say that they won the game in walk-off fashion, and they will have the home field during the wild card game. So it's really exciting. It's a great time to be an Arizona baseball fan. In terms of football, the Cardinals are what are they now? Like 1-2, I think. The Suns were like the second worst team last year. So it's good to see that at least one of our teams is doing something worthwhile. Anyway, we're going to go back into the steel mill, but if you remember the first time we came here, we actually went through the chimney. This time we can't do that. We have to go in through the back door. And so before you can do that, you're going to see that there's a few armed guards positioned throughout the area, so you're going to want to take care of them before you move on. I also just want to make a quick note. I'm really excited because I've been seeing the channel grow. In terms of numbers, I've been getting about like 2 subscribers every day, and I know that's not like a lot, but you got to understand, for a small channel, that adds up. That's 100 subscribers every every 50 days. That's a big deal. And so I've heard that with YouTube channels, oftentimes these channels grow exponentially. So what that means is, well, I'm not gonna go into the mathematics of what an exponential curve is, but basically, long story short, the growth starts off very slow, but then once it gets going, it just increases at an increasing rate. That's essentially what you need to know. So to put some numbers on that, it took me about 1.5 years to get 100 subscribers. And then it took me less than a year to get 1,000 subscribers. And then now I've been going up pretty steadily. So the amount of time it will take me to get 2,000 subscribers hopefully will be smaller than the amount of time it took me to get 1,000. And then that will kind of just keep going. So 2,000 will, quickly become 5,000. 5,000 will become 10,000. And then so on and so forth. At least that's the hope. That's not always what happens, and most likely it's not going to be what happens. But one can always be optimistic. But that's not necessarily what I wanted to worry about, because a lot of people, you know, they think of YouTube growth as subscribers. How many subscribers do you have? And in my case, I'm not gonna lie, I'd pay attention to subscribers, but subscribers should not be the main factor that one considers when looking at a channel's growth. Instead, in my mind, what I look at is view counts, and particularly, you know, I do a lot of walkthroughs on older games, games that aren't necessarily in the spotlight anymore, and so those games typically aren't going to draw in as many viewers. Now, one thing I've noticed is that survival horror games by far tend to be the most popular. So like my walkthroughs for Resident Evil 4, Evil Within, Alien Isolation, even though those games have been out for years now, those walkthroughs still get a good amount of views because those are just very popular games that people like watching. Whereas a game like Uncharted or Batman, they'll get me, you know, they'll get me some solid views. I'm not going to turn away any number of views, but they're definitely not as popular as those survival horror games. Now, that being said, though, one thing that I always have noticed on YouTube is if you go to any channel, it doesn't matter if it's a small channel or a big channel, if you go to any channel and look at a full playthrough of a game that they've done. So, for example, and I could be wrong here because I haven't looked at the numbers for this particular title, but let's say you were to look up PewDiePie's Let's Play of the original Silent Hill game. I'd be willing to bet that if you looked at the view count for each video in that playlist, the first video is going to have the most views, and then every subsequent video is going to be lower and lower in views. That's because people start off the series naturally at video 1, but then they either lose interest or they decide they don't want to watch the whole thing, and so the view count steadily goes down. And that's the trend. Now, like I said, that might not be actually what's happening with Silent Hill. I don't know. I didn't look at the numbers. But on average, if you look at any YouTuber's Let's Play or walkthrough, you'll see that trend. And one thing I've been noticing, which I'm really proud of, is that that's not the case for a lot of the walkthroughs I've been making. So, for example, the Batman videos here, even though the view counts on each video haven't been high, they've been consistent, and that's what I'm most proud of. So, like, each video so far has been getting about 25 to 30 views. That's been like the average amount. Now, granted, if you look at the first video is the most viewed. It's like 50 views. But the fact that every other video after that is pretty consistent in the view count, what that tells me is not only am I you know, inviting people in to watch this series, and not only are people interested enough to give one video a chance, but they end up liking it, and they end up sticking with the series and watching the whole thing. Otherwise, if that weren't the case, you'd see the view count going down. So that's really cool. In my view, that's a lot more important than subscribers, having consistent viewership, because that means people are really enjoying the content and are leaving it out there. And so I kind of want to pose a couple questions for you guys real quick before we get into the bulk of the gameplay. Number one, this is a question I'm always curious about because it kind of tells me what videos I've done are the most successful. If you wouldn't mind, I'd love to know what video brought you to my channel. So what video did you first see of mine, and then what video made you stay with my channel and keep watching? What, you know, some people, they've been here since my Gears of War 4 walkthrough. Other people, they found my Resident Evil 7 walkthrough and they said, hey, I like this guy, I'm going to give him a chance. Other people, they didn't discover me until Alien Isolation, which is something I just did a couple months ago. So I'd love to know, what video of mine did you first see, and what video was it that kind of convinced you to subscribe to the channel? And then another question I'd like to ask is, if you have been with the channel for a while, and if you've seen any number of my walkthroughs, even if it's just a piece, what's been your favorite? What's been your, this is something I've never actually asked. What of my content has been your favorite to watch? Was it my Evil Within walkthrough? Was it my Uncharted playthroughs? I'd love to know what you guys enjoyed the most. And this isn't, you know, this isn't because I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to use their answers to focus on that content to get more views. No, this is just this is a genuine curiosity of mine. I think it's important to ask because I put out all this content, and I'd love, you know, I just love to know. I respect you guys enough to care about what type of content you've been enjoying. So it's purely just a curiosity thing. I'd love to know what you guys have been enjoying from my channel. And then, you know, if you want to, I'd love to know what other YouTube gamers you enjoy watching. Do you go for the big shots like PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye, or do you have a number of small channels that you enjoy watching? I'm always curious to know about things like that. I'll tell you one thing, just so you kind of get my perspective, is one thing that really inspired me when I was first starting my channel was two channels, one by the name of Seraphim17 and the other by the name of Mike Betancourt. They essentially do the same stuff I do, hardest difficulty walkthroughs, and they do the same kind of commentary style, except, well, not style. They do commentary throughout their whole videos. I would say my style's a little different because I try to make it more like a podcast, let's play feel. But those two channels were very big when I was starting, very big on my inspiration, and I still to this day, I mostly enjoy Mike Betancourt. But anyway, here's a small cutscene.
Oh God, it's you! I'm sorry.
It's all right. You're safe.
You're lucky. I could have killed you with this thing.
Believe me, Doctor. When someone takes a swing at me with a pipe, they don't get the chance to apologize. What's been happening?
I did what you said. I stayed out of sight and kept an eye on what they were up to. They've been placing things on the floor in the next room. I don't know what they are.
Sounds like Joker's trying to stop me with mines.
Will it work?
Do I look worried?
Worried? No. Sick? Very. You look terrible.
Don't worry about me. Get back to wherever you've been hiding. I'll deal with the mines.
Alright, so we're going to enter this room here. We've been in here before, but this stealth encounter is going to be a bit harder because the enemies have better equipment. There's going to be a jamming device, so real quick you can get that guy with a stealth takedown. Zoom up here and just kind of get a lay of the land. You can see where all of the enemies are. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump down here, hang from the ledge, and perform a ledge takedown. And then remember, ledge takedowns do make noise, so you're going to want to get out of there as soon as you do the attack. Now you're going to see this guy come down here. I'm going to use my jamming device to explode the mine, and then boom, that's a really easy way to get rid of the signal jammer. So that's a very, very powerful tool, is the disruptor, because anytime an enemy is walking near a mine, you can use that mine against them. Very, very powerful. And from here, as soon as you get the signal jammer down, it's pretty easy. Just you know, pick the pieces off. You'll notice I threw a sonic batarang. I intentionally threw that batarang near another mine, because then if the enemy goes close enough to the mine, I can use the disruptor once again to get a kill. But for some reason, this is something that happens. It'll take them a while sometimes. But anyway, you see this guy, he went to investigate. Curiosity killed the cat, and it's no different in his case. And so here, from here on, just take out these three guys as usual, isolate them, pick them off.
That ain't supposed to be happening.
Easy, easy, easy. One thing you can even do is when they're all conglomerated around here, you can throw a smoke bomb and just take them all out with your fists if you're feeling impatient.
How's he doing it?
But anyway, before this encounter, I was talking about two YouTube channels I really like, Seraphim17 and Mike Betancourt. I'll be honest, I don't really watch Seraphim's content anymore. I've kind of lost interest. But Mike Betancourt I do enjoy watching occasionally. I don't really watch the new walkthroughs he does, because I do walkthroughs now too, but I really enjoy watching his Resident Evil walkthroughs. He is very, very good at those games. He not only does hardest difficulty walkthroughs, he does no damage walkthroughs, and that is just insane. So I have no problem, you know, recommending other channels to people. Mike Betancourt is a very, very good channel. Very entertaining. Alright, so anyway, I finished off the stealth encounter, but I accidentally went through the wrong door right there. So now you're going to make your way over to this door here, and we're going to go through here. And I'm actually going to show you guys a very interesting Easter egg. And this Easter egg, it really surprised me, because when I saw it, I thought, holy crap, this is a huge deal. Where are they going with this? And then it ended up not going anywhere. And it kind of surprised me, because an Easter egg this big, I feel like they had to have had a reason for it, but I think at the end of the day it was just something they decided to throw in there, just as kind of a, hey guys, look at this, it's not really meaningful, but it's just kind of cool. And you'll see exactly what I mean. But if you remember, so let me shed some context on this. If you remember last time we were in the steel mill, we ended up getting to that room with Harley and the Joker, and it instantly cut to a cutscene. And that's when Joker infected us with his blood, and then they knocked us unconscious, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's the room that the Easter egg is in. But like I said, the first time we were in that room, we couldn't actually do anything because it was a cutscene. But in this case, I'm gonna actually get to show you what that Easter egg is. And like I said, I think when you'll see it, you'll agree with me. You'll think, wow, that's a huge Easter egg. What are they gonna do with it? And then you're gonna be kind of surprised to find that they ended up not really doing anything with it.
Wow, look who it is. What do you want, B-Man? Come to stick the knife in some more? Well, go on then, I don't care. I'm not telling you nothing. I'm not even gonna tell you about the crap Joker took from freezing locked up in the boiler room.
So that's pretty funny how she Harley's a great character. That part was really funny. Anyway, so now you're gonna go through these doors and take a right. Again, this should all look very familiar. We've been here before, and here's where the Easter egg comes into play. So you're gonna come to this room here. Again, you should remember this. This is where we fought the big one-armed guy a long time ago. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through this gap here, and I'm actually going to disrupt these two guys' guns. So they each have sniper rifles. So I'm going to use my disruptor to level the playing field a bit. And now you can see there's still a couple guys with guns left over.
Well, I was, man.
I don't know what I was trying to do right there. So I'm going to prep a smoke grenade, throw it near them, and now I'm going to run over. And in the time it takes me to fight these two guys, the other guys are going to be able to probably get new sniper rifles. So you got to be quick here, but you can see that they're aiming at me. It's probably right now that one of them tried shooting at me and realized his gun doesn't work. And there you go, there's the second guy. So right now they're realizing their guns don't work, and I'm going to go ahead and do a double-edged takedown. Now, here's the Easter egg I was talking about. Check this out. If you go over to this desk here and zoom in on the trash can, you can see a pregnancy test that reads positive, and one can only conclude that this is Harley Quinn's pregnancy test.
Protocol 10 will commence in 10 minutes.
Where is it?
Manners cost nothing, Batman. A please wouldn't go amiss. I mean, if you wanted to be cured so badly, you only had to ask. It looks like I need to teach you some respect.
There's nothing you can teach me, Joker.
Oh, come on. There's always something to learn. Let's start with getting your ass kicked 101. Seconds out. Just you.
Alright guys, so you're going to start this fight just wailing on Joker, and I'm going to say, like, I want to know your thoughts of before that cutscene, that Easter egg I showed you where we were in kind of Joker and Harley's office, and we found a positive pregnancy test right next to Harley's outfit. Obviously, one is to conclude that that's Harley's pregnancy test. So when I first saw that a long time ago, I thought, holy crap, where are they going with this, you know? And then they ended up just not really doing anything with it. I think it was more of just a, hey, look at this, it's all for fun, but don't read too much into it type of thing. Either way, it's a really cool cutscene. Alright, so in this fight here, this is kind of a big brawl. There's going to be a lot of enemies. Carry with you the same techniques we've been using, mainly that Batarang instant takedown move. Build up your combo meter, knock down as many enemies as you can, and then use that sucker to get a bunch of KOs all in one shot. Now you're going to want to be careful here, because you'll notice we are in between two train tracks, and there are going to be these little trains zipping by, and if you're standing in the way of one as it comes by, you guessed it, it will actually hurt you. But on the plus side, it can also hurt them. So if you happen to get an enemy or a group of enemies standing on that train track, the trains will hurt them as well. But anyway, again, kind of a general strategy here. Save the big guy for last. Focus on taking out all the little guys first. Again, the easiest way to do that is to just build up your combo meter and then use the instant Batarang takedown. Now you're going to see things get a bit harder here because a Titan enters the field. And again, I'm just going to stick with that same strategy. Try to take out all the little guys first. You'll notice how I'm really moving around the room. One thing I'm doing is I'm getting one punch in and then I'm evading. So punch, evade, That allows you to kind of, you know, depressurize the situation. It allows you to put some space in between you and the enemy. Now I'm going to start focusing on, I should say the one-armed guy, because if I say the big guy, I'd say the Titan is the big guy. So one thing definitely, save the Titan for last. Now one could argue that getting on top of the Titan's back will make your job easier. The problem is, in order to get on the Titan's back, you have to be able to do a triple stun, and that move takes a bit of time. So in the time it takes you to actually complete that move, the enemies are going to have a good chance of, you know, sneaking up on you. So instead all I'm doing is I'm just building up my combo meter, taking out all the little guys. You'll notice there's still 2 little guys left. Right there I just got hit by the train, but so did Joker, so that was kind of funny. The Titan, all the little guys are done, so now I'm going to refocus my efforts on the one-armed guy. There he goes, he's down, and now we can focus solely on the Titan, so triple stun him, and then go in for the takedown, and that's going to basically be the end of the fight. So thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you get the chance. Let me know what you thought of that Easter egg, and I will see you in part 9.
What are you waiting for? Any last requests? How about a joke?
How about a trade? Let him go. Take me in his place.
I'll handle the jokes around here.
Talia, what are you doing?
I represent the great Ra's al Ghul, head of the demon, master of the League of Assassins.
Well, bully for you.
Free Batman, and we will give you the secret of immortality.
Don't do it, Talia. He'll be unstoppable.
What? You mean she's telling the truth? Immortal?
Do we have a deal?
No!
Oh, shut up! After you, my dear.
We offered you this chance, Batman. Now follow your heart.